Hi, this is Matt with State of Flux here with another fan request vid. This time from Quan. Thank you for the recommendation of doing a top 5 movies of James Caan. He is an actor that passed away this past week and a talented man, like insanely talented. I took a look and I thought I'd do a top 5. The reason that I didn't do it initially is because there are 2 movies that are going to be missing from this list that he's probably most noted for, and it's because I haven't seen them. It's one of the series that has eluded me to this day, but that is The Godfather. Never seen him. So this is going to be my top 5 James Caan movies that are not The Godfather. So I'm going to do it in order of release, and the first one is probably ultimately my favorite movie of his, which is Brian's Song. Brian's Song was a made-for-TV movie in the late 70s, starring James Caan and Billy Dee. It's a sad movie. You think TV movie and you kind of write them off. This was back in the era in the 70s when you had TV movies that were truly motion picture quality. Steven Spielberg famously made Duel, which got a full theatrical release because of the quality of picture it was. Brian's Song, not that dissimilar, and this really showcased his range. Even for a small-scale TV production, you could see the performance, the skill this man had in front of the camera. If you've never seen Brian's Song, as I say, it's a tearjerker, but it is fantastic, and also one of the best sports movies out there. Moving on to Misery. Misery is one of the best Stephen King adaptations, and James Caan embodied that role, and I think is often shown in the film because the actress playing Annie Wilkes is just so extraordinary, and who doesn't love her? But this isn't about her. As great as Kathy Bates is, this is about James Caan, and I think he is equal to her in that film, and her performance is as great as it is because she got to act opposite of him, and the two fed off each other wonderfully. He makes this work, particularly that climax, and he sure as shit sells the little sledgehammer scene. Moving on to Bottle Rocket. Bottle Rocket is one where he has an impact on the film, but it's not like quite a big one. However, it's just a kind of grand movie, and one that's often overlooked, especially considering it's a Wes Anderson film. I'm not a Wes Anderson guy. Ultimately, I really don't particularly like many, if any, of his movies outside of Bottle Rocket, which is the least Wes Anderson-y movie of his catalog. But I think this is a strong film, and I think it's one that's worth checking out. Moving on to guilty pleasure of mine, which is Eraser. Eraser is one of the best Jim Carrey. One of the best Arnold Schwarzenegger action films that is not a Terminator movie. You will have more fun watching Eraser than you will have watching virtually any other action film from his catalog besides Terminator and Predator. This movie is great, and he had to go up against the formidable James Caan. And when you think about Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Caan, it sounds laughable. Absolutely not. It works like you wouldn't believe. That movie is infinitely fun, super funny. There's a lot of like laugh out loud one-liners that Schwarzenegger works really well for, and this is just simply a cool movie. If you've never seen Eraser, I urge you to check it out. Don't write it off because it's a Schwarzenegger picture. It's a good Schwarzenegger picture. And James Caan is damn fine in it. Moving on to my favorite movie that is not really a James Caan movie, but is probably my favorite movie off this list entirely, which is Elf. I'm a huge fan of Jon Favreau. I think he is an exceptional filmmaker. Between Elf and Chef and the first Iron Man, this dude, and Swingers, let's not forget his screenplay for Swingers. This is a dude who knows how to make a spectacular movie that you are going to be enveloped by, and he can deliver a tone. And part of what makes Elf work, if you had everybody operating on the same level as Will Ferrell throughout that entire thing, that movie does not work. The movie works because you cast opposite of Will Ferrell James Caan, who is able to play the reality of the movie opposite of this larger-than-life elf-like figure. And I think he isn't appreciated in that film, and I know this film is appreciated as a Christmas traditional film at this point, but that Elf honestly is one of my all-time favorite family films, and it doesn't work without James Caan. And that's something we should acknowledge. I'm going to give you one last bonus recommendation, and that is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. A lot of people I have talked to, and I completely disagree with them, think that voice acting isn't acting. And you could turn to his performance and prove that that is not so. This is, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is a Lord and Miller movie, and if you like their vibe, this is an early one of their films, and for my money, this is their strongest picture. And that's saying something. These guys are good filmmakers. This script is funny. The performances that that you pull from all these performers is great, but putting Bill Hader opposite of James Caan and having the loud and vibrant version with the sullen and quiet is really a good choice. But it works dramatically once the film pivots into the drama, which is present in the last act of the film. James Caan really is powerful and gives a potent performance with his voice work in that film. The less said about the sequel, the better. But there you have. So that recommendation list one more time: the TV, sports drama, Brian's Song, the pseudo-horror thriller, Misery. Bottle Rocket is a good kind of indie 90s film from Wes Anderson. You have the action epic Eraser. You have the pristine Christmas family film Elf, and you have the animated Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Again, I recognize I don't have Godfather on this list, and that like I have seen enough of the first Godfather in parts to say I've seen The Godfather. However, I never watched it through in a single sitting, so I'm not counting it as having seen it, and I haven't seen virtually anything out of the second one at all. So that's why those are not on this list. Were I to watch them, they'd probably be on here. I can tell you for a fact the first Godfather would be on here were I to put that, were I to have watched it all the way through. Anyway, what are your top 5 of James Caan performances? He's a spectacular actor who we have truly lost, and it's a shame, but hot damn if he didn't have a good body of work. And what range of films even these are. You have dramas, horror, soft comedy, hard comedy, family films, action adventures. Like, that's pretty cool to be able to carry all of those genres and do it with very strong vibrancy in his often pulled back and refined performances. So anyway, drop down in the comments down below which is your favorite, and also if you have another top 5 you'd like me to do, let me know. I'd be happy to do some. Thanks for watching. Bye.